Namaste. My name is Ashmika and I'm a year 3 student double majoring in psychology and marketing. Today I will be answering a question that I receive so many times on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere. And the question is, how do we manage our expenses in Singapore as students? So for this question, I thought why not ask my street smart friend from Delhi. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, so my name is Navya and I'm an international student at SMU studying economics and actuarial science. So essentially I manage all my finances myself, so ranging from food, utilities, all the way to shopping and partying. I'm very excited to be here today and make my debut on Ashmika's super cool, super independent and creative YouTube channel. So let's do this.
Okay, to make this video easier to watch, I'm gonna add the subtitles and also the chapters so you can skip to each question, whatever you think is more relevant to you. So let's first talk about how much do we even spend per month? What are our main living expenses like in Singapore as international students? So how would we first talk about food?
Sure. So if you refer to the pie chart that Ashmika is going to attach here, you can see that 49% of it just goes for food. I try to keep food within $300. So for this particular month, it was $230.
Would you say that cooking at home would be cheaper than going out?
100%. So eating out in Singapore can get really expensive really fast. You can end up spending $50 on a single meal, you know.
Especially if you go for hot pot.
Okay,
so expensive.
But it's amazing. It's amazing. Once in a while, it's okay.
Yeah.
Let's say you cook something, right? And you get your groceries from, let's say, Fair Price or Mustafa, where you can get cheaper stuff. Any modest, healthy meal, healthy balanced meal will not cost you more than $3. So $1.5 to $3 per meal, which is
way cheaper.
Very good.
Yeah. And usually, personally, I like to cook my food and pack it and then eat it on campus, because as a vegetarian there are really less options, so it's just better to cook by yourself. And as a very hectic schedule in SMU, it's just easier to pack your own food and just move around with your food, right? SMU does not have a meal plan, by the way, so if you're expecting that, there might just be a canteen system, nothing of that sort. But I do know a senior who actually has this system wherein she gets a cook every week, once or twice, for $15 per hour, and then she prepares the meal for the entire week. So that is also an option, I guess.
Any decent meal will definitely cost you $6 to $8.
Yeah.
So it's a bit expensive if you consistently eat out.
But what about rent, which is a fixed cost? First, I think we should talk about what is the estimate for rent in general for accommodation.
A very general estimate is going to be around $1,500 per month. For me personally, I'm paying $1,100 per month just for rent. But it really varies, right? So a lot of factors come into play.
So I think factors like the location, because SMU is in the center of the city, so usually it would be more expensive. Size of property also matters. Smaller the house, I think, would be more cheaper.
Yeah.
And PSR is SMU's hostel.
Own housing, yeah.
Yeah. And even though it's cheaper, it's very hard to get in. It's super competitive. So I wouldn't say you have to bank onto that option, but definitely apply and try your luck. There are condominiums, which are Indian apartments, the same term.
Yeah.
And HDBs, which is the public housing.
Yes.
And there's also hostels, but I've not really heard.
Yeah, I haven't really heard very positive reviews about students living in those hostels. Plus, I think accommodation is key to enjoying your university experience.
Actually, I live kind of far from SMU. Initially, when I was really far, it really affected my overall experience in SMU, because I would waste 1 hour every day just commuting.
Right.
But now that I've shifted a little closer, it's definitely way better. But what tips would you give to someone who's looking for accommodation? Where can they even find accommodation details?
Okay, definitely go on Property Guru, look at the prices, because you get the basic idea of prices from there itself.
That's true.
Then if you can get hold of an agent, even better. So the agent will help you look for available apartments. Honestly, you can also just go on Reddit and look for
Reddit? Why Reddit? You've got accommodation from Reddit?
Yes.
I've never heard of this.
It's more common than you think. It's really common.
Is it safe?
It's very safe.
Okay.
You can get in touch with other people joining SMU at the same time as you and, do kind of group hunting together.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Also reach out to your seniors if you have any, because
Yeah,
there are seniors just looking out for roommates, so just send out a message and then who knows, you might just get your accommodation through that.
Right.
And talking about insurance, SMU covers our insurance, and There's actually a clinic in SMU and like they have different branches, so like that's pretty chill. I only recently found out that if we go to the clinic, we don't have to pay.
Why would you have to pay? You're paying for the insurance.
Bro, oh my god. I have wasted so much money going to a private clinic, and dude, it used to like break
You've
my heart.
paid?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was, and you know, it used to frustrate me so much, like wow, you know, medical expenses here are so expensive, until I found out that it was free in SMU.
It is. I've used it so many times. They're actually pretty good, right? And all of this is covered within the insurance, which is compulsory. Like it's a compulsory fee expense that you have to pay when you join. So it's really good. I don't know what you've been doing. It's been 2 years now.
Yeah. We learn from our mistakes. Okay, now let's talk about another main expenditure, which is transport.
Yeah.
So how much do you spend on transport daily?
Only $48.
Tell me a secret.
Concession pass.
Okay, honestly though, concession pass is so worth it because I recently tracked my expenses like for the last 2 months, and the transport prices have definitely increased.
Oh yeah.
So concession definitely makes sense, and like there are different concession cards. So some cover like MRT only, bus only. I think one's
There's
for
like
both
a
also.
hybrid concession pass.
I
It's
would have
a
saved
lot.
money.
It's a lot. Oh
But-
wait, that makes sense for you?
It makes so much more sense to me. I've spent like I think $145 last month just on transport.
Yeah.
So concession cards definitely make sense. Cabs can be really expensive though. So I avoid that as much as I
We
can.
avoid that. We avoid that.
Yeah.
What are cabs? I don't know. Usual cab range would be
20 plus.
$15 just for like a 5-minute cab ride, and then up to like 50-60 depending on peak hours.
To summarize, what do you think is like the estimate amount of money that you need to live comfortably in Singapore?
Okay, base minimum is $500, which is 30,000 rupees.
I think it's just rent that's the main issue, to be honest. So I think main thing is just $500 plus rent is enough to live comfortably in Singapore per
Agreed.
month.
Yes.
Now let's talk about our budget for each category.
I mainly put a hard limit on food expense because that motivates me to cook more. So I try to keep it within 300 per month.
Nice. Public transport will become a limit once I have a concession card. Then talking about entertainment, my personal limit is $200, which I usually try to get cheaper with like cheaper tickets, so like $100-ish per month. And it also depends on like who's coming, right?
Yeah.
I recently went for Kenny Sebastian and like I'm still thinking about that. Yeah. But concerts are really important for me. I don't know about you, because I think at some point once you've explored everything in Singapore, it's just concerts and like all these live performances that make it more exciting.
Absolutely. It can get a bit boring. Both of us enjoy concerts, but there might be someone who would rather spend on an overseas trip. So it really differs.
Also, before any purchase, right, to stay within my budget, I always try to get like the cheapest option, and I always look at my spending from a need basis. Like, do I really need this? And there are some ways that you can find things for cheaper. So there are these giveaway groups on like WhatsApp or Telegram. It's basically like, you know how a lot of expats keep moving around. So then they sell their stuff for cheaper, or they literally just give it away for free. And those are like damn good groups, bro. Okay, so now that you have a budget, you also have to track your expenses, right? And I think this is a very important skill to have to stay financially responsible.
Yes.
I love tracking my expenses, and I think what tracking your expenses does is that it reinforces the idea that your money is not unlimited.
There is an upper limit.
Yeah. So as you like track it, you realize, okay, money is getting deducted, and it also helps you like see trends, like when is your consumption increasing, decreasing, and you can also spot places where there were like weird transactions that you probably weren't aware of. Like once I tapped in and tapped out of the MRT, and I realized I got deducted $1 or something. I was like, I'm gonna fight for that $1 also. So I actually called Simply Go, and I was like, how come I got deducted like, you know, $1?
Yeah.
And then they said that apparently it's just the policy. So yeah.
So did you end up getting it back or no?
No, it's just their policy. So yeah, it's good to at least know that your money gets, you know, deducted in which way.
Absolutely.
And find out like if you can like retrieve it.
Yeah.
And in general, it just helps you like create your own goals and figure out how you can reduce your spending also. So yeah, I think tracking is so important. If you don't track, please start tracking. It's very simple. What I do is, I think it's just a very convenient way for me. I take screenshots of my transaction history from my bank account, and then when I'm on the MRT or just commuting, I start adding it on this app called Money Manager. It's only on iOS, I think, but there are a lot of apps where you can like manage your expenses. And the app is so good that you can actually download all your expenses into an Excel sheet. So it's like you're just tracking it and then you can just download it on Excel later.
I'm big on Excel, so I use Excel a lot, and I just key in like my expenses under the particular category that it is in, and then Excel does all the work for me. It creates the pie chart and everything. I mean, of course, I had to set up the base format myself, but it works out well for me. Yeah.
Use pivot tables and all. Oh.
I try.
Okay, now moving to the fun part. Can part-time jobs cover everything? I've received this question so many times.
Do you think so?
Okay, I don't think it can cover rent.
No, it can definitely not cover your rent, but the $500 to $600 budget that we were talking about, your daily expenses can be covered.
For sure. Actually, a lot of the concerts I've gone for, all my entertainment is self-funded. So yes, part-time jobs are definitely like a go-to. Another follow-up question I receive a lot is it even possible and feasible to do part-time jobs alongside university? And to that, our answer is
yes.
Because I think it really depends on your time management skills. SMU allows you to make your own schedule. So if you put your classes on certain days only, then on the rest of the days you can arrange part-time jobs.
Yeah.
And if you're talking about the legal aspect of it, like if you can legally work here, yes you can, but only 16 hours max per week and 40 hours max during the term break. And I think in terms of like the rates of part-time jobs, again it varies, right? Minimum could probably be like $8.
I don't think anything goes below $8 per hourly rate.
But it can go as high depending on your skill. Like $50 plus for tutoring is really good.
Yeah.
Okay, but now where do we find these part-time jobs from?
Okay, I only have one singular source, and that is Telegram.
I can't believe you use Telegram for part-time jobs.
Dude, all my part-time jobs ranging from $10 per hour to $30 per hour has been through Telegram.
Where in Telegram? Like what channels?
There are a lot of different channels called SG Part-Time, or even like within the Ask SMU Telegram channel, there are so many job openings. I just go through that.
There are these apps that like a lot of seniors had recommended to me. I got one of my part-time jobs through that. And SMU spams a lot of emails for part-time jobs. So you can definitely sign up for that.
Super support because it's easy money and
it's on campus. It's easier to commute also.
Yes.
The standard rate is like $13 per hour weekday, $19.50 on the weekends.
Which is amazing.
Yeah. And if you want to work for F&B, there's another option of like literally reaching out to the restaurant, because sometimes they have posters, hiring full-time or part-time workers. You can also, like do internships, get it through LinkedIn or connections. And I think that kind of sums up where we get our part-time jobs from. For all the jobs that you did so far, did you need any like prior experience?
No experience is required at all. Like you've also done crowd management. I've like helped like in event organizing and facilitating the events. They don't really need any experience. You just need to be like present, aware, and there like in the moment. That's all they require from you.
It's quite chill.
Yeah.
So what's your experience been like with part-time jobs?
I've done a lot of part-time jobs, starting with F&B. Do not recommend. I've sold mangoes, which was really fun.
What?
Yeah.
Like at Shengseong or something?
No. They were like Australian mangoes, very premium. So we were just giving out samples. It was very fun. And of course, like my favorite has been facilitating the student camps in local Singapore schools. It's really fun. I really like that.
I have more experience with on-campus jobs. I work part-time in the library, and you can also earn money like through CCAs or clubs. So I MC and I've performed for like a couple of gigs, so then I got money through that. But the thing with clubs is that it's not like consistent.
Right.
Yeah, so that I think is the main issue. There was one very like interesting part-time job I did. So I was basically like ushering people in Cloud Forest. It was like a pretty brain dead part-time job.
I mean, but the scenery and all is very nice.
You're entering that ticketed place for free.
And the ticket
you're getting paid
expensive.
to be there. Yeah. So I think part-time jobs like keep it interesting. I want to be a barista someday. So
I think more than just money, it gives you good experience.
Yeah, for sure.
Builds character.
It's really fun and like it's a good experience to add onto your resume also. And I just remember 2 other very easy ways of earning money. First is research studies. For me, it was like a course requirement where I had to like participate in research studies, and sometimes they pay you, and it's so good. Like you're just answering surveys.
I'm paid all the time because I just chuma did it. I got paid like $100 for a 2-week study. It was really worth it.
But sometimes I feel like when I'm filling in the survey, I realize that I'm spending way too much time for the amount of money I'm getting. So yeah, that is definitely one option. Another option is selling notes. So if you have really good notes, feel free to sell it and make your own business.
If you have a beautiful handwriting like Ashmika does, you can. But with my handwriting, it's not happening.
Okay, finally, last question. Do we invest as students?
I invest. So I invest in the US stock market using interactive brokers. Whenever I get my current internship salary credited, I make sure to straight away deposit at least 35% so that I don't make excuses later on. I feel like if you have money just lying around that you may not be using right now, just invest it. There are many options that you can choose from, like bonds, equities, stocks. So it really depends on your risk tolerance. I think another thing I would say is that unless you start, you won't learn.
That's so true.
Yeah, personally for me as well, till the time I didn't have any money like invested, I didn't have a stake in the market, I literally had no incentive to go online and read up on, let's say, companies or stocks. So I think it's extremely important, and the sooner you get started, the better for you.
That's so true. I just started using this app called Moomoo. It's like the Singapore version of Zerodha, which is in India right now. And I think in general, before you start investing, please make sure that you have like a buffer of like 3 to 6 months of your savings that you can cover up for like, you know, your living expenses, and then start investing and like have your goals kind of like clear. Like don't simply like splurge into the stock market and like think that you're going to get money. Be careful about it because obviously there's risk involved.
There are winners and losers. Like you're definitely going to lose money if you get into it, but it's still important to learn about it.
Because it compounds over time.
Yes.
Now that we finally come to the end of this video, let's talk about our final thoughts about managing our expenses. I just want to say that there was this course that I did in Bangalore because I got damn stressed when I was 18, like shit, I'm gonna manage my own finances now. And I don't know, like the idea of adulting just really freaked me out. So I'm glad that really happened because I discovered this course called Be Your Own Lakshmi. The instructor is Shikha Mittal. She's really, really good. So I really enjoyed the course. It set my basics right. And for all the girlies out there, I think it's really cool when girls are very financially independent. Make use of free resources. There's this other YouTuber I discovered called Nisha. Yeah, she's damn good. I love watching her videos. Use student discounts, concession pass, and fight for your money when you know that your transactions were like not correctly done. Yeah. What would you like to say?
I think I would like to conclude by saying don't get too mesmerized by the idea of part-time jobs. It should never take top priority above your studies because eventually you want a good job which you will get through by studying.
Okay, we finally come to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this. And I hope that we've answered all of your burning questions about what it's like studying in this expensive country. If you enjoyed watching Navya on my channel, drop a comment. I would love to work with her again. And like, share and subscribe. And just 2 things. Feel free to be a cheapra and
feel free to be a ladaku. Get the money back.
Yes, okay. Now chalo, that's it. Bye.